So as you can see, I have many people here today. We have a very special episode. You guys are listening to The Terrible Conservative. All right, man. So in this episode, we're gonna go over. We're all debaters here. We've all been in some pretty decent debates, and we're gonna go over just some of the WTF moments in some of our debates. And I think that we can kind of all agree that when we debate liberals, I mean, it's pretty easy to have some WTF moments. Y'all agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So I want to introduce everybody to everybody that doesn't know who's here. Topher, we could go ahead and start with you. Let them know like where you're from, what you're doing.
Yeah, man. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Topher. I'm from Mississippi, currently reside in Mississippi. On TikTok, I'm known as TopherTownMusic. I make a lot of noise. Conservative. Well, I'm more conservatarian than I am anything else. But yeah, I'm part of the conservative hype house, also part of the libertarian hype house. And yeah, I just spit straight facts. That's what I do.
Awesome, man. Nickvideos, man. Let them know what you've been doing.
All right, man. All right, everybody. My name is Nick, otherwise known as Nickvideos on TikTok. I'm from Houston, Texas. You know, I like making TikToks, love debating liberals. You know, it's always fun. It's always fun roasting liberals. You know what I'm saying?
It's always fun, bro. It's always fun. And then the conservative values, Reese.
What's up, guys? So yeah, my name is Reese. I am from Arkansas, and I am better known as the Conservative Values on TikTok. I'm also a member of the Conservative Hype House, and yeah, I pretty much accept anybody who's willing to debate. So I have plenty of those moments.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So yeah, so let's jump into this, man, because like we all got some stuff to say. So let's see, Topher. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with Nickvideos. I'm gonna play Nickvideos first.
Yeah, let's go with Nick.
His was like the most recent, so I want to show his.
Yeah.
So Nickvideos was in a debate with who were they?
Progressive Intel and that liberal girl.
And it was you, and what was the other guy's name?
His name is Teddy.
No, the guy that was on your side.
Oh, Lance Videos.
Okay. So basically they were having this debate, and well, let me roll the clip.
What would you call after conception happens? What would you call that? Wouldn't be a life or no?
What would
embryo. What is an embryo? Is it alive?
It's cellular life. Yeah.
So it's life.
But
You admit it's life.
But what kind of
You at least
cells are
admit
they?
it's life.
What kind of cells are they?
What kind of
Are
cells
they Are they moose cells?
okay.
Are they Homo sapiens?
Are they human
moose?
DNA? Is there human DNA?
Here's the
Is it moose
fallacy.
DNA?
The way-
Human
You say it's cellular life, but what kind of DNA?
Wait.
Let's
Is it
Here's
human
the
DNA?
fallacy in the way this argument is going to go. All right, you're going to.
Bro, yo, Nick was like, bro, he was like, what kind of cells are they moose cells? And she's just like,
Good answer, man.
Bro, so what happened there, bro? Like she totally stumbled, right? Like she just couldn't answer.
Yeah. She was basically trying to like distinct like an embryo and then like a fully grown human, and she was basically trying to say that they don't have like the same intrinsic value. And I was like, well, they're both human lives, so to me they do. And you know, she couldn't answer the question, you know, because anytime she would answer that question, it would just completely invalidate her argument. So,
bro,
yeah,
what is this new thing that people are talking about? It's not human life, it's cellular life. Do people not know that all we are just a bunch of cells? Like, do these people like not know that?
It's just another logical fallacy to try and validate their side, which I mean,
Yeah, and dehumanize the fetus or the baby itself, because most of the point is based on the fact that the baby is not a baby, right? So the further they can get away from that is best for the argument. So that's why they try to steer away from it as much as possible.
That is, man. I totally agree that they do whatever they can to dehumanize it, especially when they say things like it's a parasite. Like that's like the most evil shit like I hear. So when you call your baby a parasite, bro, it's terrible. But what's even funnier in this in that clip is that she totally got tripped up, but I was gonna be like, okay, maybe she'll answer. But then Teddy, luckily he was there. Luckily he was there because he's like, no, I know how this is gonna go. You're trying to trap us. He's like, well, you just got trapped. So, you know, let her answer. You should have let her. I would have been like, yo, no, I ain't talking to you, Teddy. We'll talk to you in a second. So I need to know, Ashley, what is it? Are they moose cells or are they not moose cells? I need to know. Dude, it was so funny, bro. So funny. Oh man.
Yeah, man. I also saw her debate with was it Emmy?
The Emma Lou chick or something? She debated her?
No, it was not Emma Lou.
No,
Emma Lou's not
Emma Lou.
debated a single person.
Bro,
Oh,
I called Emma Lou out to debate me, and then she made like 5 videos after, like just attacking how I looked and stuff, like so immature.
Yeah.
She commented on that one.
Is she even out there anymore? Because I don't know.
No, because a bunch of videos of her saying the N-word with the hard R got released.
and then somebody made a song about it.
Yeah, who made that song,
Yeah,
bro?
somebody made a diss track.
This nigga smash. Everyone fucking die. Die.
Bro, that diss track kind of went hard though.
Bro,
Yeah,
did you see that, John? I sent you the other day. I screenshotted it when I was in her comments, and he was like, because she was trying to apologize for it. She's like, I'm so sorry for whatever. And this dude in the comments, he was just like, girl, bye. And he was just like, by the way, I heard that new song you dropped called like Nickvideos. And then he was like, yo, that beat go hard.
Bro, it's just like, to me, like the people that are so like obsessed with like not saying it, like I feel like they're like the ones deep down that like they've said it a bunch like a long time ago and they're like trying to make up for it. Like that's how I see a lot of people on the left that are like just so obsessed with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of attacking you. Bro, she even put out this video that said proof that you said it, and I watched it, and I was like, there's nothing here. Like, what are you talking about?
Dude, okay, so those DMs that they released were so freaking fake. Like, it was so obvious. Like, oh, it was so stupid.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, man. I always say it's the same thing when you hear about when we talk about masculinity and guys that just can't stand being around other gay dudes because the insecurity themselves, so they lash out. So it's the same thing I feel when people have I guess
like they're overcompensating.
Overcompensating for their own insecurities about the word or using it or something like that. So yeah. So I felt like she was kind of like that way.
I agree, man. I totally agree. But all right, man. So that's crazy. So let me go ahead and show another one. Let's go Topher, man. Let's go Topher. So Topher had a debate on my platform, and he debated. Dude, I completely forgot his name.
Salah.
Yeah, Salah. Yeah. So he debated Salah. And let me go ahead and play this clip, and let me know what you guys think. Oh, hold on, let me preface this. So this debate was about, is Donald Trump racist? And basically what he asked, and they're trying to find out like what racism is. So Topher is basically trying to figure out, okay, so let's talk about racism.
So can you tell me what a Muslim looks like by looking at them? Just by looking at somebody, can you tell if they're Muslim?
I think that question is irrelevant. The point isn't necessarily about whether I can determine a Muslim by looking at them. The point of the policy was to target individuals who look from or come from certain nations, which in itself is racist. No, I cannot determine what a Muslim is by looking at them. I can assume based on how they look or how they carry themselves or what country they hail from or in a sense, their name. And
so
is
that more of a cultural thing, nationality versus race thing? If you can't tell, I can tell you're a black man, obviously, right? You're a black guy. You got the nose, the features, the colors. So you cannot do that with a Muslim, right?
No, you cannot. No.
Well, then, however, that is not racist. Then
Bro, and shout out, I like Salah personally. I like Salah, man, but like he was just totally wrong there, bro. He was trying to say that when Trump did the Muslim ban, that it was racist. Like, what's going on with that, Toph?
Yeah, man. And well, the whole debate was supposed to be, is Trump racist or not? And so when I went in, I mean, I was ready. I done studied the lawsuit from the Department of Justice back in 1973. I done studied the Central Park Five, read the literal ad people keep conflating, and then I was going back through everything. You know what I'm saying?
You were ready for everything.
I was ready for everything. Matter of fact, just to make sure I was covering everything, I even went to the Vox that has this whole just timeline of racist attributed things and anecdotes that have been said about Trump. So I was ready, man. I get in there, this dude talking about Muslim ban. I'm like, first of all, that's like saying when he said all Mexicans are racist, when people say he said that, I was like, first of all, that's not racist because Mexican is a nationality, it's not a race. And it just bothers me, man. And then even with the Muslim ban, it's like, there's Muslims in other parts of the world, right? So if it was a Muslim ban,
right? Did he not understand that there are white Muslims? You know what I'm saying? There are white Muslims. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for real.
So, and the funny thing to me is that's actually more racist. The way he was saying is like, so all Muslims are just brown people, huh?
Right, right.
So you're assuming they're just all wearing turbans and that's it, and they just only in the Middle East in those countries. It's like, come on, man. Don't be like that.
Bro,
But
it was kind of like, and we talked about it after, man, with that debate, because I expected him to really go hard into how Trump is racist. And then, like, it was kind of a letdown a little bit because, and you even let me know too, he was like, yo, man, I was expecting him to throw all these shots at like Trump being racist, but like, we just stuck on the Muslim ban and that shit ain't even racist. You know?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand, like, he wasn't banning, like, his rhetoric made it sound like it was a Muslim ban, but it was only a ban of, like, different countries in the Middle East that were deemed as hybrid by the Obama administration.
Exactly,
Trump was already put in plan by the Obama administration. Trump just continued it.
Right.
Yeah, the Obama administration already had this list of nations together, and then Trump just carried it out, and then now everybody's like, "Oh, now Trump's racist because he did that." Like, what?
Right? Isn't it even? He didn't even say Muslim ban, right? He's just like, from these countries, people can't come. That was it, right?
It was just a travel ban. It was just a
travel
travel
ban.
ban.
So crazy, man. Exactly what Reese said, man. He tried to do that. He tried to do that back in January. Maybe we wouldn't have as much COVID around here, but he was racist again for restricting people from coming over. Like, come on,
dude,
man.
Speaking of that real quick, I just have to say this so people can see this. But it baffles me that everybody was up and just throwing stones and just pitchforks and everything when we was calling it the Chinese virus. So that's racist and we should never do it, and it's crazy. We've talked about this, and then as soon as evidence come out that China has actually been racist against black people, nothing. Media doesn't cover it. Everybody else that was all talking about how it's racist toward China ain't said nothing. Like,
that's because it doesn't fit their agenda, bro. It just doesn't fit their agenda.
Or how China tried to blame the virus on American soldiers.
Bro, did you see that? Bro, as soon as I saw that, I was offended. I was like, bro, that's where you're gonna go? They were trying to make it seem like it was like an inside job. Like somehow like we came over here, we created it, sent it over there, and then I was like, come on, bro.
And then y'all are the ones that we just found out that y'all are keeping evidence from coming out about the virus, like keeping information from being spread for people to actually do something about it. Like where do you go with this?
Yeah, not to mention the fact that they literally have Muslims there in concentration camps too, but
Facts.
the media doesn't cover that.
Facts, bro. And people don't understand, and I'm a little bit more, I'm pretty blunt with this, man. I think China is just kind of fucking gross. I'm not saying that Chinese people are gross. I'm saying that if we look at the history of just pandemics from the world, shit like always comes from China, man. You're talking about COVID-19, you're talking about SARS, you're talking about the Asian flu, you're talking about they found out that the Spanish flu actually came from China. I'm not saying it's Chinese people, but what I'm saying, I don't know if they have like some kind of sinkhole in China where just like diseases pop up every couple of decades, but shit always comes from there, man. So for you to tell that it came from the United States, no pandemic has ever started from the United States in the history of the world. So like when they say that, I'm just sitting here like, come on, bro. You know that shit comes from your country. You know that it comes from that entire continent of China, for the country of China. But crazy, bro. Crazy.
Well, I get a kick out of calling it the Kung Flu, so it is what it is.
The Kung Flu? The Kung Flu.
Dude, did you see that song that Steven Crowder made, the Kung Flu fighting? Dude, that song was so funny, man.
Crowder has no chill, bro. Crowder has no chill.
No. Crowder doesn't have a chill, bro. It's funny.
All right, so let's get into Reese, man, the conservative values. Also a debate that was on my platform, man. He was debating Joel, right?
Yeah. I just keep on calling him Joel, but I don't know how he wants us to pronounce his name, so I'm just gonna call him Joel because that's how I call the guys that are named Joel.
So this one's interesting. In this entire clip, Reese doesn't actually say anything. It's actually me that's talking to him. I was moderating, and I was just trying. So I want to preface this. So basically, what Reese had just got finished saying is that, over 95, they were having a debate on abortion, and he was pro-choice, and Reese is obviously pro-life, and he was talking about how, look, over 95% of these people, of these specialists in the medical field are saying that they agree that this is human life. So that's all he was saying. And then that's pretty much where this clip picks up. So let me go ahead and roll the clip.
95% of scientists saying that human life begins at conception. I got to see that because, again, I'm not going to give into a position that I haven't researched. Well, I have researched, but I have not seen anywhere what Reese is discussing here. So therefore, I am going to counteract it by saying I haven't seen it. I would prefer to say I don't know something about the subject. I don't know his sources, rather than blindly give into it. That doesn't seem
so.
like
If he was right, you can't even say if he was right what you would think, because
Again,
if he was right, would that change your mind at all?
No, it wouldn't. I don't do.
Okay, so then,
number one,
it doesn't really matter, right?
No.
It doesn't actually matter if he shows you the source or not. The only thing is that it wouldn't matter because you wouldn't believe it, right?
Right, I wouldn't believe it. It's not that I wouldn't believe
it. I'm sorry, you
hold
said
on.
that it wouldn't change your perspective.
Here's exactly that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that it doesn't actually matter to you whether he's right or wrong, because even if he was right, so then that's what I'm saying is that then it wouldn't even matter. Is because even if it's 95% or 99% to you, it still would be it would make no difference. Bro, so I'm sitting here. So when he was saying that shit, and I'm sitting here, and I try not to interject, but I was just like, look, man. So then why are you wasting minutes on the clock? We only got 29 minutes anyway, and back then it was 21-minute debates. I think you know what I'm saying. So like he's sitting here wasting like time, and I'm saying here, why are you even debating it? If it was 100%, if scientists said 100%, it wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't change your mind. So what the hell are you asking for the sources for? You know what I'm saying? Like shit was crazy.
But that's the thing. I couldn't get that. I couldn't get that because like the thing is, first off, I've never met a pro-choicer who's not seen that study before. Like that's the first time. Like everybody's seen that study, and I think that it shows a lack of research to anybody who's not seen that study before. But that's besides the point. Even if he hasn't seen it, and I sent him the sources, and he said he would let me know what he thought about him. Yet to respond. So
of course.
Yeah, I mean,
he deleted that. He deleted that. There's no evidence that happened.
And see, but like, he's like, oh yeah. So 95% of the biologists, the people that deal in this, matter every day, they deal with humans and they deal with life every day. So I mean, like, so those people who are trained in this, if 95% of them agree that life starts at conception, you're still not gonna believe it. You're just gonna be the odd man out. You're gonna be like, hey man, I'm going against science. I'm going against the facts here, guys. I'm just gonna stand out on my limb, and do my thing.
Bro, do y'all notice how they're just pro science when it just helps them out, and they're not pro science when it doesn't? Because they'll say the same thing. They'll be like, oh well, 95% of these scientists believe that climate change is real and whatever. We should believe them because it's the majority of them. Okay, so then give us the same benefit when we're talking about abortion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, oh no, that doesn't matter because that's a biased source. That's why it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, and when people say that study, a lot of pro-choicers say that study's biased, but then you have to ask them which questions were biased, because if you look at the questions that they asked the scientists, they were very straightforward, like when does life begin, like stuff like that. Like none of those questions were biased. It was super straightforward.
Yeah, it was super straightforward.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was biologically forward. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like what do you believe? It was like, when this happens, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell me. I'm not even gonna lead a question. You tell me what you think. And another thing people miss about on that study, I like to point out, is even when they asked the pro-choicers at the end, it said, hey, they believe that if they change the name of how we talk about the fetus, first, like call it a baby or something like that, they believe that people will get less abortions. So it is very important how the language is been done. So I just want to point that out.
I think the biggest problem, man, is that they just don't want to admit they're wrong. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just want to admit that. Like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Like, don't you understand that, look, if we're wrong, okay, that sucks. But if you're wrong, and it clearly points that you're wrong, you're just denying science, that means that you are attributing to the murder of children. Like, but they can't admit it.
But it goes further than that. It's like a pride and ego thing for them, They've always got to be right. So they gotta make sure that they never admit to being wrong, even when it's in their face. You just gotta stay back and, just say, hey, man, I'm right. You just don't gotta believe me.
The abortion debate, man, to me is just... It's really cut and dry. Like, there are certain things where you might be able to find common ground on, like immigration and stuff like that. We could probably find some common ground, but abortion to me, like, is really cut and dry. You know what I mean? Even in Nickvideos debate, when he was debating the same thing, and they even challenged him on that 95%. She's like, oh, well, it's biased. And I'm sitting here listening to it. First of all, facts aren't biased. When you're talking about these people agree that this is what it is, that's not bias, right? Bias means that they may use loaded words to try and sway your opinion, right? But if you're talking about actual facts that these biologists are saying, no, that shit is life, where's the bias? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is it?
the thing that gets me is there's a lot of pro-choicers like, that liberal girl and like Joel, like that they say, oh yes, I'm so researched on this, I've got it all, I've got it right here, and yet then they try to like quote something, or they don't know a source, and it's just like, seems to me that you're only researched in the arguments that are going to help your case,
right?
Not the entire situation. Because like in Nick's debate, Ashley says, oh yeah, your Princeton study that says 95% of biologists. I'm like, that's not even a Princeton study. That was a Chicago student that did a study with the biologist. The Princeton study is a totally different topic. But if you want to go ahead and put them together and act like you know what you're talking about, that's fine. You go right ahead.
Bro, what was also
More power to
crazy
you.
in Nick's debate when he was talking about, and he kept trying to get an answer and and they just like refused to answer. When he was just like, look, these aren't safe. Like, this is not healthy, right? We can even talk about the mental health of the mother. It's like 150 some odd % that she's going to commit suicide, if they get abortions compared to if they just have their children, right? And he kept drilling into her. It's like, all right, well, can you at least acknowledge that this is a problem? And they like refuse to answer, bro. They like refuse to answer. Was that frustrating for you, Nick?
Yeah, it was just, I mean, they just kept making excuses, and it was just annoying. I mean, I hate when people debate like that. They just can't ever acknowledge that they're wrong. Like, if I'm ever wrong, I'll acknowledge that I'm wrong, or I'll say, look, okay, whatever, let's move on to the next topic, But
right. You can at least say, like, look, okay, maybe I don't know about that. I'll research, get back to it. But when people just try to deny, like, proof that this is what it is, like, that's just annoying. Like, that's just annoying to me. But
I don't think any of our goals going into debates is like, I'm going to change this person's mind by the time this debate's over.
Right.
The goal is,
right.
Yeah. The goal is to just try to have an exchange of ideas and try to actually bring something to light that maybe the other person didn't already know about, and they can make that decision upon themselves. I'm not saying going into an abortion debate that they're going to be pro-life whenever they finish debating me, But I mean, would I love it to happen? Yes, but it's not like that's the goal. And I think that that's what a lot of liberals going into debates assume that conservatives are like, yes, I'm going to drill my beliefs into you and make sure you believe what I believe by the time it's over. That's not what any of us are going for,
right?
Or really are into it for that person.
I really just want them to think. If I can get you to think just a little bit more, and then after that debate, because rarely, I've never actually seen anyone in any debate, and I probably watched thousands of them, to where everyone's like, oh, you know what, you convinced me, right here, I'm done, right? They're never going to admit that on camera, right? They may have to do some more research on the side, but if I can get you to do that research, and then maybe you start to think, you know what, that's a good point. You know what I mean? That's really all that it is, man. I think that's all that it is. So, all right, so check it out, man. So I'm gonna play this clip from a debate that I had. So check it out. So basically, I was in a debate with an anarchist. I don't know if you guys have ever got to debate an anarchist
what
yet.
What kind of anarchist?
She's straight anarchist, zero government, nothing. Yeah. Have you guys had the pleasure of debating an anarchist yet?
Is this like, okay, so I've debated someone who is an anarcho-communist, and I've debated an anarcho-capitalist, like the people who don't want the government getting in the way of like anybody. Like anarcho-communist is the polar opposite. They're like, yeah, we don't want any government, we just want communes where everybody shares everything, everybody's gonna have a good heart and shit, right, like that kind of thing.
I'm not sure where she falls on that, but I know that she self-proclaims to be an anarchist. She wants the absolution of government, and she wants completely open borders for everyone to be able to come over here because we don't own this land. Okay, so I'm having this debate with her, and I'm closed borders. And actually, in it, you're going to see that I have a MAGA hat on because back then I was a Trump supporter. So I'm debating her, and basically what I talk about is I'm like, yo, I'm not even talking about all the crimes and stuff. Like, what I want is a culture of good. I want people coming over that are going to have a culture of liberty, that aren't coming over here to further socialist policies. You know what I mean? And there are some people that come from places where they have just bad cultures. There are worse cultures, not worse people, not worse races, just worse off cultures. So I talk about cultural superiority, and I'm like, yo, America, I'm sorry, we have a pretty superior culture to many other cultures. We don't promote rape and stuff like that here, where other countries do. So let me go ahead and play this clip.
So I want to understand what his definition of cultural superiority is.
My definition of cultural superiority is the most amount of liberty. Any culture that has more liberty.
Oh my God.
Us compared to Somalia, yes, that is us. Us compared to Iran, yes. Us compared to Syria, yes. That is what that is.
But do you understand that's because we're lucky enough to happen to be birthed in this country? Because our tentacles.
We made the country this.
No, we didn't.
Awesomeness.
What did you do for this country? I wasn't born back then.
So you're saying that cultures where they allow the rape of women or the cutting off of hands for stealing a fucking apple, you're saying that that culture is in no way worse off than the culture that we have. That you are living in some fantasy delusion that I would not want to be part of that psychosis.
Bruh. Bro. So when I'm sitting here, when she's like, no, there are no worse off cultures. And I'm laying out facts, bro. I'm like, yo, in Afghanistan, you can look this shit up. In Afghanistan, they literally have spousal rape. It literally says that if you are married, your wife has to give in to your sexual desires. And if she doesn't, that you're okay to force yourself on her. And I'm sitting here like, you're telling me that culture is equal to our culture. That's what you're saying. Shit was insane, bro. Shit was insane.
She's gonna say we had the benefit of being born in America.
Okay, but before that, she says, okay, yeah, but we were benefited by born in America. Like, oh, so you admit we're a better culture, but we're just lucky. We're just lucky.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Bro, insane, bro. And I'm sitting here like, oh, okay, so Iran, where if you go ahead and you steal an apple from some cart, or you steal some groceries to feed your family, it's cool to they cut off hands like regular over there, bro. You know what I mean, for theft. You're saying that's the same as the United States. Same thing that we do over here.
I wonder if she's the same person to be like, now listen, we have to let in all of the immigrants coming from Mexico because they're trying to escape a bad place down there.
Oh, she's totally like that.
But wait, hang on, bro. Hang on, but our cultures are equal now. Hang on,
bro.
She's trying to escape anything.
She totally tried to corner me with that too, trying to paint me as some racist that doesn't want Mexicans to come over. And I'm like, dude, I'm cool with anybody coming over as long as they come from a culture of good. And so I don't know how you guys feel about like immigration period, like border control, but like for me, I believe this shit needs to be severe. Like if we have 500,000, let's say in like a year, that we can let people in, because obviously we don't have infinite space, we don't have infinite jobs, we don't have infinite resources, right? So that we say that, okay, 500,000 people can come over. I'm even more strict, bro. I'm even more to the point to where I'm like, look, it shouldn't be just the next 500K in line, because if all 500K of those are like farmers and we have enough farmers here, then they're going to be jobless. They're not going to be able to get work. They're going to be leeching off the welfare. You know what I mean? So like come over if we need doctors, if we need scientists, if we need farmers, whatever, then we'll bring those people over that are next in line, but not just anybody. Like, do y'all feel me on that or no?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I want blood tests too, bro. I want blood tests. As soon as this COVID shit came out, I was like, yo, we need to blood test everybody. Everybody that comes over, we're blood testing.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I think that should be like, there's a lot of mandatory requirements we should have. Like when you're crossing the border into America, like you need to be tested, you need to be, background checked or anything like that. Anything that's possible. Like if we can see,
dude, you know that open border people, they don't even care about background checks.
Yeah,
like you could be a murderer in your previous country. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the thing that I find ridiculous. Like if we can get a background check on you and we see that you've murdered 4 people in Mexico, but now you're wanting to come over here, heck no, you get rejected immediately. You have to stay because listen, if it's some kind of minor charge, okay, whatever, But I mean, if you're killing people, if you're raping people, if you're doing something like that, you don't need to be coming to America. That's just the way it is.
Right, exactly. So guys, y'all have any upcoming debates going, or what was good?
Not that I know of, but we are doing a 3-day stream coming up this weekend.
Yeah. We're doing a 48-hour charity stream from Friday 6 p.m. Eastern to Sunday 6 p.m. Eastern.
What is that?
We're gonna be going 48 hours long, taking like shifts, I guess you want to call it that. We've got TikTok political creators, several of them on there. We've even got larger people like Will Witt's going to be joining us, on there and everything. He's going to be, just hanging out. We're just going to have fun, try to keep off of politics and try to just, be able to raise some money for coronavirus relief fund for coronavirus. So all donations are going to go straight to that, but that's what we're working on there.
That's dope, man. Nick, you got any upcoming debates, brother?
I might be debating some people in the communist hype house next week. We'll see.
Dude, can you please do that, bro? Because they are trying to get so much clout right now. Like they're trying to get so much clout.
Hey, Nick,
what's
who
up?
gonna be your partner?
I'm thinking of doing this one dude. He's really smart, but he's a Democrat, but he definitely believes in capitalism. He just believes in a little bit more regulated than me, but we're both equally hate communism. His name is Shashank Iyer. He's like an Indian dude.
I know who he is. I've seen him.
He's not too big, but he's a very smart guy nonetheless.
Gotcha. I just wonder.
I'm sitting here when I see like the communism hype house, like they got all these hype houses. But when you say like you can have Democratic hype house, okay, whatever. But when you have communism hype house, I'm sitting here like, yo, your parents like failed you. Like they totally failed you, like in every way.
Like honestly, there was this one girl that she like had a picture of communist hype house on her phone. She shows it to her dad while she's recording it, and have her dad respond to like what he thinks about that. And her dad like fled a communist nation, like, you know, and he's like and he said, "Oh yes, the communist kooks." Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, it's so bad because like you think that these kids really know like what communism looks like in the real world? I mean, I understand that the philosophies and the like teachings that they're talking about, Marxism, is like, you know, not been played out perfectly to what, you know, in the real world perfectly to what Marx wants. But at the same time, like you have to have a sense of reality that that's not gonna work, and there's a reason why it hasn't yet. You know,
bro, if communism is so great, why do people flee from there? They don't flee to communist countries, right? Nobody's fleeing to the Communist Party of China. Like people aren't fleeing to go there. You know what I mean? They're fleeing to come to the United States. So like, it's crazy, man. But I would love to see that debate, Nick. I really hope that you debate some communist people on there, man. I think it would be really awesome, bro.
Wait, so you're not a Trump supporter? I thought you were.
No, man, I'm super anti-Trump, bro. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, I'm super
Why?
anti-Trump, bro. Because
like
okay. Let me be clear. I am pro-Trump personally. I think he's cool. I've said it many times. I would smoke a blunt with Trump. I'd invite him over, and he can invite his porn star, you know, chick friends to come over. Like I'm cool with Trump that way. But like, as far as a president, nah, man, you gotta get him out of here, bro. Gotta get him out. He's unconstitutional. He's unconstitutional, bro. I'm a strict, like you can ask Topher, like I'm a strict constitutional conservative.
Okay, I'll tell you one of the things that really got him off was the red flag laws when he was talking
red flag laws.
That.
Yeah, red flag. As soon as he even talks about, you know what, we might be able to entertain. Nick, you are canceled. I'm canceling you like Emma Lou. You are canceled. Yeah, man. It's all good though, man.
So, I mean, so hang on, and I don't want to get like too personal or something, but like, are you gonna vote for Trump in 2020?
Hell no, bro. I'm saying I'm anti-Trump. How you telling me I'm gonna? Why would I vote for him?
You gonna vote for Joe Biden?
No, I'm not gonna. No. You know that there's more than two parties, right, my guy? You know that, right?
Yeah, I know there's a Libertarian Party. Who are you going for, Gary Johnson?
Bro, that was like 2006. Come on, man. So there's Libertarian Party. I'm not part of any three of those parties. I'm part of the Constitution Party, bro. I'm part of the true conservative party in this nation, bro. What are you talking about, man? But I'll probably vote either my Constitution Partyist, who is Daryl Castle, or I might vote Libertarian, man. So I'm a huge third party supporter, bro. You know what I mean? I'll admit, when people are like, yo, do you think that do you think Biden is better than Trump? No, fuck no. Would I want Trump or would I want Biden in there more than Trump? No, absolutely. But see, I also want to dismantle the Democratic and Republican Party. I want to dismantle both of them. You know what I mean? I don't like either of them equally. But like I said, I like Trump personally. Trump, if you ever see this, if I get super famous and you want to smoke a L and you want to come over, bring some of your chicks that you know, I'm all down with that. I'm cool with that. But anyway,
he's gonna watch this and invite you out to the White House,
bro. Yeah, bro. And since I'm not technically a Trump supporter, I know you can't admit it like out there. So if you need to sneak me in one of like the passageways or whatever to get me in there, we smoke a little doobie together. I'm cool with that, brother. I'm cool with that. But
that's crazy, man.
But anyway, man. Hey guys, thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was awesome laughing at some of the crazy stuff that we encounter anytime in a debate. We should do it again, but everybody make sure that you check these guys out. Topher, where can they check you out again?
TopherTownMusic. That's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you can go to my website at TopherTown.com. And yeah, you can check out some of the merch, everything music as well. YouTube, find me on there.
Awesome. Reese, where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, all that, and Twitter, all the same thing, The Conservative Values. You can just check me out on there. I post pretty frequently on all of them. So
awesome. And Nick?
All right, just find me on TikTok at Nickvideos, and then my Instagram. My last name is like hard to spell out, so just click like the little Instagram thing in my bio.
Awesome. All right, man. You guys be easy, and for everybody else, catch me on my next podcast.